as Victoria's flood emergency enters its second week, the great wash of water is challenging new communities in the northwest tonight. And the SES warns some of them could be isolated for up to a week. The floods have now affected a quarter of the state, but by and large the levees and weirs are holding firm. Today, Army teams were deployed to help bolster defences and start evaluating the damage. Here are today's other key developments. Dimboola bore the brunt of the flood today, but its weir has held firm and only a handful of homes went under. The flood peak on the Wimmera River is now moving downstream to Japarat, where 50 homes are at risk. To the north, there was good news at Kerrang, where the town levees are still intact and holding out what locals are calling a wall of water. But it's a different story in the surrounding countryside. Hundreds of farmhouses are isolated, and this morning Cow Swamp had to be evacuated. And an emergency field hospital was set up in Charlton because of flood damage to the regional health clinic there. We start our coverage in Dimboola, which faced its moment of truth today. The threat to property has now eased, but the region's crops lie in ruins. And as James Bennett reports, police are dismayed by the number of people skylarking in the floodwaters after another rescue overnight.
Emergency services were kept busy in Dimboola overnight, but it was people, not properties, causing concern.
All sorts of tragedies have happened already, and we certainly don't want any more just through young fellas being stupid. 4
teenagers were pulled from the swollen Wimmera River as residents waited for an overnight peak.
We didn't sleep much.
The river eventually peaked this afternoon, but will stay high for some hours to come. The SES is confident the town's weir and defences will hold.
The weir is still holding. We still are concerned about the structural integrity of it, but certainly engineers are looking at this afternoon to give us advice.
Some had to be evacuated as water got into 4 low-lying homes. While towns are preparing, the water continues to drift north, taking a massive toll on farmers.
This was crop here, and it's not anymore.
Phil Glatz and Georgie Kelby have an 1,800-hectare farm just north of Dimboola. Entire paddocks have become lakes.
We had a couple of floods a few months ago, yeah, but nothing like this.
Their farmhouse is only accessible by boat. Phil's father says the remainder of the pea crop, which hasn't been submerged, was destroyed by the rain.
It's going to hurt us fairly bad, actually. It's going to take a lot of fixing up.
From up here on a rise, you get an idea of the sheer expanse of water covering the agricultural areas of northern Victoria. At the height of this flood, it covered between a third and a quarter of the state, and it's not yet known how long it will take to recede. Or what the damage bill will be. James Bennett, ABC News, Dimboola.